Hey everybody, Stu Smith here, going live, going to chat about swimming today, and then take some questions on any variety of topics you want to discuss, long as it's somewhat related to fitness. I can be military questions as well, but let's keep it in that zone, if you would. Police and firefighter prep as well. Speaking of which, Phoenix Fire Department represented today by my good buddy James Mabry, who's probably listening right now and getting ready to work out, right? Just want to shout out longtime fire department firefighter, Naval Academy grad, Marine, jet pilot. That's pretty cool history. And he gives me hope for my 60s and going into my 70s because he is still getting after it. All right. So, three things that can slow your swim time. Very big. In fact, I put the link to the article into the into the description of this video here on YouTube, and I guess also it's also on Facebook as well. But I'll put it in the comment section. Read this article thoroughly because there's some really good tips on what could be screwing you up. And most of it has to do with streamline body position and powerful and proper kicks and pulls, and obviously a streamlined glide because you being able to get the most out of every arm pull and every kick without losing momentum is what swimming is supposed to be, right? Especially the combat swimmer stroke, where it's not like you're doing a sprint freestyle where you're just constantly kicking and moving as fast as you can. This is a paced drill and a paced test that requires you to be efficient. Now, I've seen a lot of people not efficient and do this test and still do okay. They're flutter kicking a lot. They're constantly pulling and not gliding, and they're typically exhausted after the swim. And even if they were really good at the calisthenics and the run, they are significantly scoring poorer after getting their butts whooped in a 500-yard or 500-meter swim test. Now, used to be a different order in the Air Force when the 500-meter swim test. Now the IFT, the initial fitness test, has swimming last. So it's a different strategy altogether. And you get some time to recarb and get ready for that swim. So pretty much two different strategies. In fact, if you take a look at the PST clinic article that I wrote and the IFT clinic article that I wrote, you will see, the subtle differences. Actually, they're much more than subtle because that order really matters. Um, check out this. This is the PST. The Air Force has changed the order of their fitness test from what it used to be a decade ago. Um, so let me see if I have the IFT clinic. There you go. All I got to do is type it in there and it pops up. So I'm going to put in some articles in here in these comment sections. If you're trying to crush a PST, if you're trying to crush the IFT for Air Force, check those out because they are going to be very helpful with you creating a strategy to crush those fitness tests. And it largely depends on swimming in some way or another, whether it's at the very first event or it's the very last event. They all still need to be efficient and, um, take advantage off the wall when you can. Push off the wall, get some good momentum because I tell you, you'll never be faster in a 25-yard or a 50-yard meter pool than you are those first 5, 6 yards off of the wall because you are just kicking off. If you got a good streamline, you can really pick up some good speed, but pretty much you're going to be slowing down after that initial kickoff. But you can slow down to a stop, which is not good if you are awkward on your transition out of that pull and kick off the wall into your stroke itself. A lot of people screw this up. In fact, I'll show you a video today of someone who is doing it well. And I think I have one guy that's screwing it up too. But you can find all of those on my TikTok page too, because there are multiple people who are screwing up the that transition from the stroke off the wall into the CSS. So, but yeah, check out the TikTok page because it's over 100 videos at the thumb, and you can just swipe and see what you want to pick up. Let me see. So the other one being, um, it's basically things that are slowing you down are causing you to lose momentum. The big one is off the wall and the transition into the stroke. The other one is um, awkward recovery. Like if your hands are like way away from your body versus really tight, and it's like swimming with the brakes on. Another one is popping your head up because if you pop your head up to breathe, you will notice that you quit moving horizontally in order to go vertical. It's not like you're not looking like a dolphin, right? You're looking like swim this way, then up, swim this way, then up. But if you can turn to breathe, just like you're doing freestyle, you will likely not lose that momentum every single stroke like a lot of people do. So, all right. Let me see what else is. Yeah, you guys check out this article. There's a whole bunch of them. It's got the 50/50 on there. If you're wondering what the 50/50 is, it's a free workout that I recommend doing. If you've learned the stroke and you can do 50 yards in 50 seconds without it being a sprint and it's pretty efficient, now your stroke is capable of an 820, but your lungs and heart may not be. So now you do the 50/50 workout 5 times a week, and I promise you that 1,500-yard swim in the 50/50 workout will get you in shape for any 500-yard swim you have to do, whether it's freestyle or CSS. So there you go. So let's see what's going on. Got a couple people popping up with questions. Alex says hello. High Plains Drifter says yesterday was kind of easy. Not sure what that means. I guess it was yesterday was an easy day. Could be. My yesterday was not easy, and my today was even not easier. It was today we crushed a leg day, where we warmed up in the parking lot with squat pyramid, and then we did some deadlifts just to see where our 3 rep max was. Threw some kettlebell swings in there, loosen things up a little bit, and then we ran the hill, which round trip just to the hills like a 5-6 mile run with more squats and lunges. So when I stand up from today's hour of sitting, I'm definitely going to feel my legs. So I will definitely need a mobility day tomorrow. So, all right, let's see what's going on. Joe asks about the 50/50 workout. How short should your rest time ideally be? Same question applies for 25/25, 75/75s. Should it be half the rest time you build up? Well, great question. It will evolve as you get in better shape. Some people need 15, 20 seconds every uh 50/50 because you do a 50 free, then a 50 CSS. Some people need that kind of rest, but ideally, I think did you put ideally in there? Yes, ideally is no rest at all. So it's basically you do your 50 free, you do your 50 CSS, and it can be a little slower than goal pace, but try to catch your breath with a CSS. And if you have to, when you're on that wall, take a couple breaths and then go. So your resting is minimal, maybe a couple of breaths, inhale, exhale, and then start the next set. That's ideally how you do it. Now, in there, I say on my little meme of the 50-50 workout, it says repeat 10 times, 50 free, fast, 50 CSS, goal pace. And I'll give you a few seconds on that one. Doesn't have to be perfectly goal pace with minimum rest. So that's what that means. Minimal rest. If you need to rest for 30 seconds because you're not in swimming shape whatsoever, but you've got the technique down, that's fine. But eventually you're going to want to get that down to nearly nothing. So great question. Great question. I like that one. Thanks for all you do. All right, Ben. You're welcome. Thank you. Hey, Stu, on my recovery, my arms get a little wonky. That happens when they get about to my neck area. How do you transition from arms below your shoulders to arms above your shoulders? It may be a shoulder mobility issue, to be honest with you. Um, after you go top arm, bottom arm, right? Everything comes up like this, and then when you get them up to here, it flips around, and now I'm gliding like this with my biceps on my ears or behind my ears, chin tucked. That is a really good streamline. That's all I know how to explain that one. But if you're having a hard time with the shoulders, it is likely shoulder mobility. I wrote a mobility article the other day discussing the importance of mobility days. And one of them is to get in a good glide position for swimming, right? Get in here like that. Another one is to get your ankles loose so when you're swimming with fins, it doesn't hurt. And also helps you with preventing shin splints. The more mobile your ankles are, or flexible your ankles are, mobile. And then also helps with hips, knees, and ankles for egg beater. So there's a lot of ways that also helps you with lifting too, getting those triceps up there when you're doing like power cleans and stuff. So many reasons why mobility is important for this, and it could be a shoulder mobility issue. That's just my guess. Something I would like to see is if you can just send a video, and I'm happy to look at it and see if that's what I'm seeing. But if you can't touch your biceps to your ears with your arms straight with one hand on top of the other, I usually hook my top hand to my bottom hand with this thumb. If you can't do that, chances are you have a shoulder mobility issue. Gary asks, have you had any significant injuries? What have you found to be the best ways to prevent injuries? Well, what we were just talking about. I've had significant injuries in my 20s, and a lot of those, and high school, a lot of those were involved in just pure traumatic injuries. I played rugby and I played football. So those were bruises and sprains and twists, uh, back pain. Never really had a weightlifting injury, thank goodness. Never really had a calisthenic injury. It came from running or contact sports for me. Had a stress fracture in my femur. That sucked. Had so many ankle sprains from rugby and football that I had ankle surgery. That wasn't that bad. Just accumulative over 10 years of running and trying to change directions when my ankle couldn't handle that change of direction. Shoulder, nothing bad. I mean, I have this little separated shoulder right here. You can kind of see it. Floating clavicle. It's not fully separated, but it's stretched. But to be honest with you, I haven't had any horrible injuries. They were just so many accumulated that it made things difficult. So my stress fracture and my ankle and my shoulder like all happened in the same year, and a little bit of a lower back injury. Nothing horrible, just more muscular. Um, and it just happened at the same time about when I turned 30. I just started falling apart. And so that's where I created the seasonal tactical fitness periodization. In fact, I got something to share with you guys because this is my new um my new picture of it. So here you go. So we got winter, spring, summer, and fall. Boom, all four. Now, I haven't quite finished this one. I'm probably 75% done with my summer, but my fall is what we're doing now, right here. Boop. And my winter is what we're doing next, and then we'll go into the spring and summer. So when you ask, what have I done to help me not get injured? It has been this system of changing up things to a point where I am not hurting myself year round by running 40 or 50 miles a week. I'm not lifting heavy year round at a lot of one rep max and heavy powerlifting stuff like I used to do. I'm not, you know, I'm adding more non-impact cardio, a lot of swimming, a lot of biking, things like that. I'm still running a lot, but there's a cycle for that, right? There's a cycle of running in my spring and summer. And we're still running. Like I said, I ran 5.5 miles today, um, along with some leg workouts. So it's not like we don't run. We just run less in the fall and winter. Accumulatively at the end of the week, like this end of this week, we'll probably only hit maybe 15, 20 miles. I'll probably hit about 20 after today's hill. But anyway, and the mobility day has been life changing. I wish I'd have started doing mobility days in my 30s, but I didn't really start them until my um, 40s. And um, that completely changed my mindset to a point of where I thought I was going to have to quit running at 45 because I was jacked up and I wasn't really injured. It's just my hips hurt all the time. When I would run, it felt like just pain and tightness and just felt like internal bleeding. I mean, it wasn't, but it just, I'm lacking a way to describe how bad my hips felt. Then I started doing these mobility days, which are just 5 minutes of non impact cardio followed by some stretching. And then I followed that up with some treading, aqua jogging, and some swimming. Within a month, my hips were so much better, and I only did that once a week. Um, and it was like I said, it's been life changing to a point where now we all do it, and the guys are seeing the benefits of it as well. Even the young guys are, because it's helping them with their treading, it's helping them with their swimming things, like I just mentioned, mobility. Neglecting mobility will interfere in some way, whether that is swim and treading technique learning, or it is your inability to recover quickly and to have some mobility and flexibility that can help you avoid some of these tight muscle injuries that often occur. So I know that was a very long answer, Gary. I hope that got it for you. But that's how I've been preventing injuries for the last 20 years. And I can say I haven't really had an injury since my 30s. And that was a late 30s. And that was a pulled hamstring from just being stupid, sprinting way too fast. It was only a few weeks down. It wasn't horrible. And then hip tightness that prompted me to create that what you call it, that mobility day. So great question. Are there any physical tests in SQT like how buds have weekly tested physical events? Yes, but they're mostly tactical events. There's weapons, there's navigation, there's diving, there's jumping, and you got to do those things correctly. So it's a physical event, but it's also um, it's more tactical than anything. They do have some tests that they do. They may use the human performance test just to see how everybody's doing, where the strengths and weaknesses are. A lot of times the trainers will come out and do like a, FMS um, screener just to see how, functional movement screener just to see how the students are doing and then come up with programming to fix that. So it's just a lot different. There's not anything necessarily that's going to get someone kicked out. However, I have seen things occur where they will make the class take a PST. And if anybody fails that PST, they are potentially rolled or even kicked out. So there's time for you to train, and a lot of it comes down to training on your own during SQT. It's not like buds where your day is filled with physical training events. Yes, I do this on Monday and Tuesday, 9 a.m. and I don't go live any other days. It's just my schedule. I'm busy Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and weekends are kind of off too. Let's see. Do you use 5 millimeter boot for your fins or 3 millimeter boot? I like the thicker ones. I like the 5 millimeter um, booties for fins. I have tried the 3 millimeter before. Just preferred the five. I tend to get a bigger footwell of a fin than my foot would normally do. So if I went with a three, I'd have too much room in it. So I go for a five just to fill that extra space. And I typically get one of those booties where there's a sole on the bottom of the foot instead of nothing, like a dive sock. Um, and you can even run in them if you wanted to. So those have been very helpful with uh, with swimming with fins for me, and doing stuff too, like run swim runs where you just run in your booties and you carry your fins on the beach. Those are fun workouts. All right, so who's ready for a CSS swim? Speaking of running and swimming with fins, let's do a swim with fin video and see how this guy looks. All right, you guys can see that. Let's see what he does. Okay, so he's got little slip-on fins here. So these are a lot different than the big rocket fins. So what you'll probably see here is a lot of fast flutter kicking, which it's really hard to do with rocket fins or jet fins. So these little slippery slip-on fins are just a little too easy to swim. I like to use these as a way to build up to the bigger fins, but I like to kick a little bit bigger than this little flutter kick here. And you see he's kind of bending his knees a little too much. Looks a little bit like he's bicycling. Should be a little more from the hips. And then his top arm needs to be an underwater recovery stroke as well. So it's pretty streamlined. This is pretty good. Good recovery, transitions, not he's not popping his head up to breathe. See that top arm there? That needs to be an underwater recovery. You can't be doing a freestyle recovery, and you can't bend your knees like that. You can, just not as efficient as, using your hips. Let's see. Frederick says, as a coach, what are your thoughts on restrictive diets like keto, carnivore, veganism? Do they positively or negatively affect physical performance and growth? You know what's funny about those three diets you mentioned? is they couldn't be more opposite from each other. One only eats meat, the other one eats no meat and all veggies. Um, so I, anytime you're on those restrictive diets like that, forced to not eat a certain macronutrient, I am personally not a fan of. Now, I'm also not a nutritionist, but every nutritionist I know will tell you that you need carbs, you need fat, you need protein, you need all of those. Um, and you also need a lot of vitamins and minerals that are in plants. So, I personally not a fan of any of those. I would say though, yeah, I've tried keto, I've tried carnivore, I've tried vegetarianism, never tried veganism. Um, just because I wanted to write about it and see what it felt like. And for every one of them, I did for a month and I did lose weight, but mainly just because at the end of the day, I was eating fewer calories. I wasn't eating um, extra carbs. I wasn't eating extra protein. There was at the end of the day, I had fewer calories that were coming in. So I therefore lost weight. However, I don't think that is very helpful for physical performance and these types of spec ops training jobs. Now you can do it. I've seen people do it. I've seen vegetarians get through buds just fine. Um, but uh, I it's not my preference personally. And I would say diets are very similar to um, workouts in a way that this right here, this workout right here is a guideline, right? It is not a personalized training program for you, and it may not work for you. However, if you make a few tweaks to it and you don't like to swim, you can take out the swims and put in the bike, and you don't have time to do the rucks, but you can move the rucks to the weekend when you have more time. Now you are personalizing this to make it work for you. Diets are very similar. Any of those diets, you can tweak it to make it work for you, and eat the carbs right before workout if you're restricting carbs or reducing carbs when you need that energy the most. So personalizing all of that to you is something that you have to do, right? Because all of those nutrition plans are not personally developed for you. A nutritionist can personally develop something for you with all the foods that you like, the foods that you should stop eating, put that in there with the type of liquids you like to drink. Next thing you know, you have a personalized nutrition plan that if you follow is going to give you this amount of calories at the end of the day. Your workouts are going to burn this amount of calories at the end of the day. And at the end of the week, boom, you've lost weight. If that's your goal. Or you've gained weight because you're eating more food than you burn. Are all the books finished? Not in this one. I'm almost done with the summer. So spring, fall, and winter are complete. So I basically have almost 9 months before I need to finish the summer. But my goal is to have it done this month. And by January, I will have a full year of training, 4 13-week cycles, with a mix of block periodization in there, some linear periodization, some running substitution if you need it, put into a yearly plan. If you don't want to buy the yearly plan, you can just not buy all four and buy the plan that you need to work with the most. If it's a winter lift cycle because you need to lift, but also need to maintain your calisthenics and cardio, these are the type of programs that are going to do that for you. All right, let's do another swim video. I think this is the same guy without fins. So let's see what he looks like. All right, so let me back it up just a little bit, just see what a streamline look like off the wall. That's pretty good. So it's a good streamline. Good streamline. Let's see. He probably could have held this streamline glide a little bit more before he did the double arm pull. I mean, just another body length, maybe. So let's see. Kicks off the wall. Yeah, he could have pulled a little bit later, but he still comes up at that marker there. So we got a top arm, bottom arm, kick and glide. It's kind of like a breaststroke kick, and then he's got some weird, like when he moves his arm, he's got like a little flutter kick, half scissor kick thing going on. I don't recommend doing that, but a lot of swimmers, non-swimmers, when they start swimming, tend to have like this little neurological tie-in from when they move their arm, they move their legs. And I think that's all that's happening. But he's got a really good top arm pull. Watch this. Top arm turns, breeze during the bottom arm. Timing of this is excellent. This is, oh, whoops. Transitions in, no loss of momentum. That was really big. Top arm, bottom arm, kick. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that kind of little mini kick in between the top arm pull, but it does add a few kicks to your stroke or to your 500-yard time. And if you're doing this in five strokes, that means you got 5 extra kicks per length. So that's 100 extra kicks that you don't really need. Will that affect your running and stuff later? It could. Overall, it's kind of a waste of energy. Not sure it's needed at all. You got a good glide. Let's hold that glide for 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, pull. Yeah, nice. No, I like this. This is a good stroke. And it's pretty fast too. I mean, if you do the math here, that is a 45-second 50, which should give you a 7:30 swim any day of the week if you can hold that for 9 more laps. So let's see. Less food, more activity. Drop 75 pounds in 6 months eating Wendy's and McDonald's. Key. Eat less, move more. Yeah. I mean, that is as classic as it gets. I wrote an article called Move More, Eat Less, Sleep Better, Less Stress. And it puts it all into what you need to do. Let me see if I can find it. Move more, eat less, sleep better. Stu Smith. That's how I Google myself, by the way. Google articles that I've written. Crap. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the comment section because it's pretty good, and it goes along with your uh, High Plains Drifter mantra up there. So, hey, what's up? How are you? Uh, would you incorporate exercises like GHR or Good Morning in your programs? Yeah, add them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with adding exercises that work a particular section, especially if it's an additional core exercise. I recommend adding as many of those as you prefer. um, I like to add in a what I call the PT reset, which adds in a bunch of those similar exercises like that, but I think those are great. And you can add them in on a leg day when you're doing deadlifts, or you can make them just be like a cool down as well. Could I send you my CSS critique? If so, how would you want me to send it? Well, a lot of people will email me, stu@stewsmith.com, or they go to my Instagram, stewsmith50, and they DM it to me. But it should be less than a minute, right? So around 50 meters. If it takes you a minute to swim 50 meters, that's okay. But if you can keep it below a minute, it just makes everything a lot easier for me and everybody. for yourself as well. All right, so it looks like I caught up everybody's questions. Let's do one more. I had this one submitted to me today, and I don't think I have reviewed it. So this is a first time review. So here we go. A blind critique, we'll call it. Hang on a second. Got to block somebody for posting stupid shit. Okay. Um. All right. Kick off the wall. Really. All right. You see that? I could just look at that right there and just say that's a nice streamline. He may even be a swimmer. He's got good shoulder mobility. His head's down. His one hand's on top of the other. I'm like, all right. Just that alone tells me a whole lot about how this swim's going to look. And I'm telling you, I haven't seen this. Good double arm pull, coming up past that marker, transition, no loss of. There you go. So we got a top arm, bottom arm, good power on that. Notice the power pull on that. Boom, good streamline. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. Could be over gliding, but he's got a good power pull and kick and good streamline that it's not really affecting him going 4 Mississippis. Like if you notice, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. He's not losing any momentum. Most people lose momentum at 3 Mississippis. That's why I have it set there for you. But yeah, that's really good. I mean, that's I think he started this at second. Let me see when he started this. He started this on 4 seconds, and he finished with right there 3 seconds. So that's 8 seconds taken away from this 54-second video. So yeah, he's swimming, 44, 45-second 50s. Once again, that pace right there is a 7:30 pace. If you were to add it up 9 more laps, maintaining that pace, it's a minute 30 hundred. It's really good, really good. So yeah, I have no critiques on that one, no fixes on that. That was a perfect CSS. He had a kind of a high elbow up there a couple times. That's an easy fix. If somebody yells at you and tells you to keep your arm in the water, all you got to do is keep your arm in the water. It's really an instructor personality that makes you do that. I personally don't like the high elbows, so I would say keep it up under like that. But yeah, man, that's awesome. Really good. Now, I will say that is all the videos I have up right now, or have submitted. Trying to see if I had any new ones sent to me over email, and I don't see any new ones as of last night when I checked. Interesting. Nope, nothing. All right. So, you guys got any questions for me? If not, I may need to leave a little bit early because I got some conferences I'm doing. Probably doing another podcast with another group. What email use for the critique? Everybody uses stu@stusmith.com. In fact, check out this banner. It's right there. Please post comment sections or email me, stu@stusmith.com. Check out stusmithfitness.com. Yep. So that is where I am. stu@stusmith.com. Or you can DM my Instagram. So I wish you could DM my TikTok because I post a lot of my CSS critiques up on TikTok. And it's TikTok Stu Smith 50, and that's also my Instagram, Stu Smith 50. Address as well. Does anybody know why I have 50 as part of my first person that can guess why 50 is my in my addresses, I will send you a free book. Any of these. I have Navy SEAL Phase 4, I have Spring Summer, Cardio, and I also have Tactical Fitness, Periodization, Fall. So, nope, I did not start it when I was 50 years old. I give you a hint. I started it when I was 16 years old. But I see DZ has set it up. JJ. Yes, that was my football jersey number 50. Suwannee County High School, North Florida. So, yes, nice work. DZ, if you need something, just let me know. Happy to send you a book. So, nice work. You should be holding concerts because shut up. That's funny. I like that one. That's a good one. Yes. So DZ, Navy or Marine Corps, or JJ, Navy or Marine Corps? All right. While you give me an answer, I will answer Hunter's question. Any tips on how to identify weakness in training? Thanks for everything you do. Yes, assess yourself. There's only one way to identify a weakness in training, and that is to test yourself in as many things as you can. Yes, nice work. So read this article, Hunter. It's an article it's an assessment tool. It's a huge chart of everything from calisthenics, cardio, rucking, swimming, lifting, speed and agility, all of those things. Because think about what the tactical athlete needs. We need strength, power, speed, agility, muscle stamina, endurance in multiple modes of run, ruck, swim, primarily, depending on your job, flexibility, mobility, and grip. There you go. So if you're lacking on any of those, you should test and see where it is, and then start adding those into your training cycles. Nice work. Nice work, JJ. I think you'll like that. Marines are awesome. Okay, I believe I sent a video in November 17th. You need to send it again, because if I didn't send you an answer, it was lost somewhere in the mail. So if I haven't looked at it the week you sent it, because I answer all my emails and I answer all my DMs, it can get lost sometimes in the DMs because there's a lot of DMs and people DMing me all the time. So it can get lost in there. And sometimes if you don't title your email properly, it may get deleted. So it's not a perfect system, but resend it. If I haven't answered it since November 17th, I'm probably not going to answer it because I don't have it. All right. Well, everybody, I got to go. Got some stuff to do. And, but I hope you guys had a good Tuesday. I will be back on Monday, 9 a.m. It's a big week. Go Navy, beat Army. Saturday, Army Navy game. If you're going, you may see me there. So, all right, folks, have a good week. I'll chat with you later. Smith out.